Welcome back to the Key&Jay podcast. I'm your host, Jay, along with my co-host, Key. And today we're going to be talking about chapter 11 through 15 in a Resort by Sara Ochs. I think that's her. I think that's her last name.
I think that's how you spell it or say
it. Hopefully we'll be able to, get to talk to her and find out what her last name is. But how was your day so far?
My day was fabulous. I was making that shmoney, and
there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. And I'm so happy because we are here back today to talk about chapters 16 through 20. Mm-hmm. And lots of stuff happening. So I cannot wait to discuss it with my co-host, my wonderful co-host, Jay. Yes,
you're the best. You're the best.
To be here. Yes.
Well, let's get into chapter 11. You can go ahead and take over from there.
Absolutely. So first of all, I wanted to point out a quote from chapter 11 that really, really moved me. So chapter 11 is in Brooke's point of view, and she has just left Cass after she has discovered something crazy on her phone. And if you remember from the previous chapter, they were looking into Lucy. They were trying to figure out where she's from, why she's on this Thailand island, like what was her point? And Brooke says something. She says, a woman's anger makes it easy to paint her as crazy. And I thought that was so true. When women get angry, they call us emotional. They think we're crazy. So that was the first thing. Secondly, that leads into the fact that Brooke mentions going back to her room in Thailand. And she says, she talks about how the room in Thailand reminds her of another place or another room or another place that someone put her in. And I was immediately like, she's talking about crazy people. Someone put her in a facility. I'm thinking maybe she had to stay in a psychiatric facility, which adds a whole new level of depth to her character because I can see her. She's been reasonable. She's been the most reasonable character so far. She's asking those hard questions, but it turns out she may have done a stint in a psychiatric facility. So,
And I was looking into something like that because I was looking into clues and when she was talking about her Instagram and how she was just looking for clues throughout Instagram, and she was looking at her phone from the night of the party. And as she's going through her phone, she realized that when she was seeing it, it looked like Lucy was being followed, and that at the full moon party, because that's what the party is called. So she's just going through her IG, and even going through her IG, she has some comments under there.
Crazy comments.
Get a job, nice tits, come over and let me stick it in. Like just all kind of crazy stuff. Then Christine 472 called her a privileged bitch.
Yes.
So I was like, oh, she just
the
be getting
life
all the
of
hate.
A social media influencer. You got all these people making these snide ass comments to you day and night. I love that the author put that in. It just gives us such a realistic view of what it means to be a social influencer or content creator and the kind of stuff that people are going to leave under your comments. So.
Right. And then she says Lucy was looking at something. She had a fist balled up. She was eyeing somebody. So it looked like she was there to stand on business at the party.
Absolutely.
That's what it seemed like to me.
She was there for a reason.
There.
She didn't seem to be having fun or partying with anybody else. But yes, Brooke sees her on camera. And who was recording her that night?
Daniel Adebayo.
Yes, it was Daniel.
Some name. Daniel. Daniel A. He was following her. And what was his hand? Dab 2000 was his IG handle. And he had a logo of Arsenal on his that's the soccer club for I guess
the UK team. Somewhere. Because Daniel is from the UK.
And we're going to find out some more things about Daniel. So that was just her so chapter 11 in the summary was just kind of her going through her phone, looking at IG, and then she had that WTF moment of seeing Lucy being recorded and she was being followed by Daniel. So that's kind of like that WTF moment of what Brooke was going through. And then we got chapter 12. We got
chapter 12. We're back in Cass's point of view.
All right. So they have a meeting.
Right.
They having a meeting with Frederick.
The whole permanents have a meeting.
All the permanents who work at the dive bar. And Frederick come around and says the police, obviously, which we kind of knew. They didn't find anything. There was no foul play. They said that she was under the influence of intoxication and some other medication
or something like that.
Yeah, it was like some 3 or 4 letter acronym.
Yeah.
And that she accidentally drowned when she hit her head. And that's what they're calling the cause of death. But Cass, she don't believe it.
She don't believe it.
Does not believe it at all. So basically, He gathered his most trusted staff, and he said it cannot get out to the Patreons because they cannot leave because this is going to mess up business.
Yep.
And if this mess up business, everybody kind of got to fall back and go back to their old life, which is terrible.
Because all these permanents, I think, have came to this island to escape. So Frederick is already putting it out there. We are marketing this as an accident. Keep this under wraps. Don't talk about it. Don't bring more attention to it. And on one hand, I kind of understand, like, of course it's nefarious to lie and market someone's death as an accident if it's actually a murder. But you have to think about it in real life. Every business does things like this. You know what I mean? Like if there's an accident on their resort, in their hotel, they're not going to splash it all over the news. They always keep it quiet because it's bad for business. So I know that Brooke had previously talked about Frederick paid off the police, blah, 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 and he shouldn't have. But I'm just saying I understand why he would. I mean, Cass and Logan bought a house in Thailand. You know what I mean? If they don't have business, how are they going to maintain that house that they've bought in this whole nother country? You know what I mean? So Yep.
Nah, I definitely agree with you on that one. And we also find out that Brooke sends a video to Cass.
Yep. She sends the video of Daniel following Lucy to Cass. And right now it seems like Brooke and Cass are the only two in the book who are investigating Lucy's death as a murder. Everybody else is just sweeping it under the rug as an accident, but Brooke and Cass do not believe it. And after Brooke sends Cass the video saying, look, Daniel was following Lucy, Cass decides to look up Daniel to see what can I find out about him. And she finds out that he was convicted of sexual assault and he fled the country after serving 2 years in prison. So it looks like he served his jail time. He got out and he violated his parole by fleeing to Thailand. So that is pretty damaging for Daniel. You know what I mean? Because we remembered the first interaction he had with Lucy was he was following her around when she ran into Brooke. He has a video of him following her. She's looking at the camera. She looks anxious. She's looking directly at the camera with this anxious look on her face, fist balled up. Like, is she scared of Daniel? And then we find out that he was convicted of sexual assault. So it could be, maybe he was coming on too strong to Lucy. She didn't want it and he decided to end her life. My thing again was, remember when Daniel came up out the water when he had found Lucy's body? He really seemed very, very shaken up. You know, so shaken up that he ascended really, really fast, which is something that can mess up your brain. Like it's bad to go from scuba diving deep down all the way up to the top of the water. And he did that. And I keep thinking though, if he actually killed her, why did he seem so surprised? Was he just faking? You know, is he that good of an actor?
This is why I knew it's too early in the book.
When I seen it, I was like,
it's too early in the book. All roads point to Daniel, of course, because of his sexual conviction. We don't know what happened in that sexual conviction. He could have been falsely accused.
So
his story
we just
might
know what's
come
on
out,
the internet.
right?
Yes.
And he just probably like, man, I'm out of here. Like they already messed up and tarnished my legacy. So I'm pretty sure his story would come out about what happened with him.
And the similarities with Cass. You know what I mean? Think about the fact that whatever she was going through where she was at, it caused her to flee to Thailand. Now Daniel is doing the same thing. So it seems like most of the Americans in the book, even if they aren't part of the permanents, they all are fleeing or running from something. Even Brooke admits, you know, she was locked into some kind of facility at one point. Now she's in Thailand. Cass had something happen. Now she's in Thailand. Daniel has something happen. Now she's in Thailand. You know, it's following a pattern. So I'm just hoping that we get to see what everybody else's secrets are. So
I understand that. True. True. And we move on to chapter 13, which is Brooks. We're going into Brooks' point of view now. We just leaving Cass from chapter 12. And Lucy is, from what I got from there, it says Lucy was becoming a story. Like Lucy was becoming a story. Everybody around was talking about the girl. You know, like, did you hear about the girl? And you get Brooke. She's looking for Daniel because who does she see in a black hoodie? She notices the guy in the black hoodie from that was standing in the doorway from that night. So what does Detective Brooke do? Follow Daniel.
She follows Daniel.
Okay, she's going to be following him as he leaves the retreat. He goes down this dark alley and she's like, oh no, you know, I don't want to make no noise, no sudden noises that might alert him and then have him come and strangle and kill me because she's under the assumption that he is the actual killer.
And she's following him to try to see where he's going. And as she's following him, she gets a message from Cass. And her and Cass at this point have been texting each other back and forth. I kind of am on Jay's wavelength. We talked about this in the previous episode.
Let's go.
Like, Brooke says something. She says, like, Cass is checking on me. She's worried about me. And it was just something about that was just very intimate, you know? Right. Like, they just met each other a few weeks ago, but they seem to be very, very much attached. So Brooke is out investigating. She sees Daniel, and then she gets the message from Cass, where Cass is telling her, hey, you sent me the video of Daniel following Lucy. Now let me send you something back. Look what I found online. He has been guilty of sexual assault. Now, because Brooke is looking down at her phone and she's reading this whole article about Daniel, she loses him as she's following him.
Right. And then we come to find out that she found his mugshot, and his name, you know, he was convicted of sexual assault. He attacked his former girlfriend after following her from a former nightclub, where they said that he broke into her house, or forcefully got into her house and sexually assaulted her, where he served time, but he got out for good behavior. But along his way, he disappeared a month after his parole, and they've been looking for him ever since. He got up out of there, but I just feel like it's more to that story that they not letting on to. And I don't know when we going to figure it out, but I feel like it's coming soon.
Something crazy happens at the end of this chapter.
Lord have mercy.
So remember how we said that Brooke lost Daniel when she was following him? Well, she circles back and she finds the alley where she lost him at. And she was like, maybe I can find a clue or a hint, or maybe I can find a trace of him, because she was looking down at her phone when Cass was texting her. He disappeared. Instead of finding Daniel, she found Daniel's body in the alley. God. He had his throat cut. God. So there is no doubt, you know, Lucy's death, you can play it off as an accident. You know, she drowned. There's no way that you can play Daniel's death as an accident. His throat was cut.
Nope.
And don't you find that suspicious? I mean, if he's supposedly the one who killed suspicious, you don't find that suspicious. And it's like, if he killed Lucy, who would want to kill him? Is it somebody getting revenge for her? Like, where was he going? Like, but Daniel's dead. Yeah. The main suspect is dead.
Now it's 3 deaths on the island. We have Jacinta, we have Lucy, and now we have Daniel. So somebody is taking these people out. We don't know why.
We don't know how they're connected. All we know is the main suspect, and Jay called it. He said it's a little too early to be saying that Daniel did it. Like, we only halfway through the book. Ain't no way everything points to Daniel and he did it. There's no way. And I thought maybe another suspect was going to come out, but no.
Right.
Sarah just said, you know what? I introduced him as a suspect, and now I'm wiping him out. But that's how she writes.
Too. Like that was quick. That was quick.
They just suspected him. He's dead.
He was gone.
And he's gone. That's it. Again, Sarah's writing ends on cliffhangers. The last thing before we get into the next chapter is Brooke finding Daniel's body. So now it's like, oh my gosh, it's really starting to hit me. Like, people are dying. That's 3 people in like 1-2 months that have died, and no one knows how, no one knows why. So,
so you know how I read this, right? Because the next chapter is going to be like a listen to Brooke scream, right? You know those 360 machines that everybody be on at parties?
Yes.
I looked at it, Brooke screaming, right? We end the chapter, and then we turn all the way around to Cass, because now she hears
her screams. Exactly.
So now we just focusing on, you know, how everything is moving. Cass hear the scream. Everybody obviously starts to go run and see what happens, and they all see that Daniel is dead. And what is Doug? Man, this chapter right here showed me that Doug do not fuck with Brooke at all. Like, he dislike her. She is not a permanent in his book, because he's saying that Frederick come through and he's like beefing because like another dead body is bad for business.
Right. He's like, what the hell are y'all doing? What's going on? I can't keep paying off the damn police. Like, another body after I just told y'all to keep Lucy's death private. Another person is dead. But he tells him again, keep it quiet, figure out what the hell the story is going to be. To be honest, I really didn't understand why Brooke was there. I know that she's the friend of Cass, and I like Brooke, but I was just thinking the whole time, like, she is not a member of this staff. She's just another tourist.
Right.
Yeah, it'd be like if Lucy was alive, inviting Lucy because her and Cass had a conversation. Yeah, come in on this private meeting. Like, Brooke often oversteps, and I get it. She's trying to solve this crime, but yeah, she was in the meeting. I'm like, what is she doing there? Doug actually pissed me off in this chapter too. He's racist as hell. So you know Daniel, you know his name is Adebayo. I don't know if y'all know this. My husband is Nigerian. You know what I mean? I know the last name. So he's a black man. He was described with locks. And Doug says something like, remember there was that gang that was dealing drugs. He's already guilty of sexual assault. He looks the type to be dealing drugs. I was like, he looks the type. And this is again, when my respects for Brooke grows, because she shouldn't have been there, yes, but she tells him, oh yeah, Doug, let's throw racial profiling into the mix as well. I love that. I have no problem with racism in books. I mean, it bothers me, but it's how the author writes it in. She didn't have Doug say that and then everybody ignore him. Right. No, she had him say that because people do feel that way. And she had another character immediately check him. I like that. I had respect for her writing when she had him get checked, because it's one thing to write in racism and then just leave it like that's okay versus having a character check that shit. Like, facts. Don't be coming in here racial profiling. Don't do that. And then that's when Doug was like, you know what, Brooke, get out. Yep. You gotta go.
Doug was acting like he was eating jean jackets all day.
And it's crazy. The only really permanents that fuck with Brooke is Neil, and because he likes her. And then Cass, Logan doesn't like her either.
Don't
Cass
like her. Logan
Greta doesn't like her.
Like none of them like her.
She hasn't seemed to do anything in particular other than call them on their shit. She's the only one.
Not only is Doug is racist, right? You know, I feel like Doug was racist because how he gonna say some might have been part of the Thai drug cartel? He just threw drugs on him immediately. Right.
Like, yeah, because he's black, so he's probably he's involved in drugs.
And Brooke dismissed it, and like that's where Doug go crazy. And he tried to reference her Instagram post.
Yeah, and he was like, I bet you're gonna be writing about this on Instagram.
You're gonna be posting about this on the gram. Like, bro, stop it, bro.
Yeah,
you're doing
why are
too
you
much.
Even here? Yeah, he was like, yeah, get this bitch out of here. She ain't a part of us. She ain't a permanent. You gotta go.
Right. So to me, like he was doing a lot, and I was like, bro, you don't even gotta really.
Do all that.
So I was just like, that didn't make sense.
The permanents, so they're all in the dive shop right now. Daniel has just been found dead. It's all of the permanents plus Brooke. Frederick has left. He's like, look, y'all need to figure this out. And so they're like, you know what? Let's figure it out. Let's try to figure out who did it. Obviously, someone's going around killing these people. The permanents are still not wanting to call Lucy's death a murder. They keep claiming accident every time Brooke or Cass says something like, we need to check out Lucy's murder. They're like, you mean her accident? Like they are not like they're doing what Frederick said. It's an accident. That's what we're going for. But then they start discussing alibis, on the time when Daniel was murdered. Now, the time Daniel was murdered, all the permanents were having that meeting with Frederick. So they all got alibis. Brooke, we know we were in her point of view when she found the body. So we know that I don't think that any of the permanents did it. From what I can tell, they were all...
Not Daniel.
They didn't do Daniel.
Not Daniel, right.
But then they start asking about Lucy's death because Lucy died somewhere between the night of the full moon party and the next morning. Now, what I noticed about everybody's alibi was that nobody else could back up anybody else's alibi. They were like, oh, we got drunk and went home. We did this, we did that. Brooke included. She said something like, I got tired and I just went home. And I was like, that's suspicious. I mean, nobody can confirm either of these people's alibi. So again, this just speaks to Sarah's writing. Like, she really revs it up and then she leaves it hanging because it's like, who's the suspect? We don't know. None of these permanents have solid alibis. They don't. So we're still in the closet. We have no idea what's going on or why. We know nothing.
Because she was like, Xanax had her memory like erased from that night. And
exactly.
She, this is the big cliffhanger again that, Sarah leaves us on because she said, I remember, and she like how he explained how he lost his ring. She said it was wrapped in her shirt when she got home, not when we got home.
Exactly.
And I was like, how does that make sense? Like because when we read it, they came and they left together. So how is all of this stuff happening?
But we didn't really know that they came home together. We remember her waking up and saying the memories from the night before. She didn't really remember. So, but she realized that she's recalling back, just like you said, when Logan was telling her, he was like, yeah, when I got home. He didn't say when we got home. The thing is though, let me ask you this, Jay. Are you a killer? Okay. So say you get drunk and you lose your memory. Would you think, oh, someone's dead, I probably did it?
No,
That's how I felt. That's how I felt. No matter how drunk I get, no matter what I'm under the influence of, I know my character. I'm not a killer. I'm like, Cass is like, wait, where was I that night? You know, because I'm like, would you have killed this girl? What motive would you have had to kill her? You just met her at the dive shop. You know what I mean? What motive would you have had? But it's like she's starting to question herself because of the Xanax that she mixed with alcohol. But it just rang a little false to me because I'm like, you know your character. Like if somebody wound up dead and it was like, Kira, you don't got no memory, I'd be like, memory or not, I know I'm not a killer. It don't got shit to do with me. Like I may have been drunk and my memories may have been awash, but I know damn well I didn't slit nobody's throat. I didn't wrap my hands around nobody's neck and strangle them because that's not my character. No matter how mad I get, I'm not going to kill somebody. So that was all I had to say. That was the note I made. Like, why is she questioning herself? You know yourself better than anybody else. Don't let them try to convince you like, oh, I don't have an alibi. Maybe I did it. Like, girl, if anything, you need to be looking at your damn husband because, and then I was like, they're asking each other, what's your alibi? As if one of them is going to say, oh yeah, I don't have an alibi. I don't know where I was. I was just thinking, like, if I even suspected that I could have anything to do with it, do you think I'm going to tell you it could have been me? I'm going to make up some shit too. You know what I mean? Yeah, I went home. I went straight home and went to sleep. That whole scene where they were questioning each other, it was just like, no one's going to tell the truth. And if one of y'all is the killer, do y'all think that they're going to be like, oh, it was me, y'all. I'm sorry for causing all this trouble. I did it.
Didn't make no sense to me at all.
It didn't make sense. And then
everybody trying to exonerate themselves.
We get to the next chapter. In the beginning of the chapter, Brooke is like, she says everyone just happened to be separated with no one to back up their story. Like, that's what Brooke says. Oh, I noticed that Logan was covering for Cass and nobody else had an alibi. And I'm just like, girl, you also didn't have an alibi.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is what, hold on one second.
Alibi.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so like I said, we get into chapter 15. They've just left the meeting where all the permanents in Brooke have been confirming their alibis, who was where. And we already talked about the fact that nobody had good alibis. They didn't. Everybody was by themselves. That didn't prove a damn thing. That whole conversation was pointless. Brooke, like I said, she's always seemed so full of herself a little bit. I like her. I really do. Don't get me wrong. But at the beginning of the chapter 15 starts in Brooke's point of view, and she takes notice of a couple of things. First of all, she could tell that Logan was lying for Cass. When she asked everybody where they were, Cass froze up in the last chapter because she didn't remember it. Brooke noticed that. Secondly, Brooke comments on the fact that nobody can confirm where anybody was, because they were by themselves. But it's like she wasn't, like, when you point one finger at somebody else, you got three pointing back at yourself. That's how I felt. Brooke, your alibi is not solid either. You know what I mean? Like Lucy.
Where was you at?
Where was you at? We found out Lucy had inboxed Brooke asking for help on her Instagram. She also came up to Brooke and wanted to ask her for help in person the next day she dies. Brooke could have something to do with it. She could be crazy. She was already in a facility. What if she has another personality? Which I'm not saying is going there, but it's the fact that she is so quick to place blame on other people. They don't have alibis. Brooke doesn't have a solid alibi. Nobody's seen her go home. She lives in her room by herself. She's not even a part of the permanents. Like, if they were to protect each other, she would have nobody to protect her. And yet she doesn't see that. She just is always like pointing fingers at people. But the chapter gets more interesting. Brooke is smart. So she takes
very smart.
I will give her that. When she finds Daniel's body, she does something I could never do. I'm not touching the dead body, but she takes his phone out
of his pocket.
Right out of his pocket.
Because she watched him from the night, and then she seen what he did with his phone.
And
I was like, why didn't the killer take the phone?
Jay,
I ain't gonna lie. That made me feel like Brooke is the killer. Because she know all of this stuff.
She knows all this stuff. And I was like, so the killer
she did it before.
They killed him and left the phone. Left the phone. That didn't make no sense to me. That was a dumb move.
I was like, so she's writing this. I'm like, Brooke got to be the killer because she the only one. It wasn't under the permanents. So we at least eliminate them from Daniel.
Yep.
Right? At least I don't think it was, right? So you can eliminate them.
They were all at that meeting. But I mean, that's just what we only know from Cass's point of view and Brooke's point of view. Cass's thing is always she's worried about Logan. As long as she knows where Logan is as her man, she's maybe not keep as close an eye on, everybody else. So from what I know, all the permanents were supposed to be meeting with Frederick. But we don't. When Daniel is off, it's Brooke's point of view before she finds him. So we don't know where any of the permanents are.
In between that time, because they could have killed him because it's not far from the bar, from the dive bar.
It's not far.
So it's something that maybe somebody was following both of them and came behind them and attacked. Because as you notice, what did Daniel say in his text that it was something that he said, like,
someone said it to him. They said,
I know who you are. Meet me at 7:50.
Yes, or they're going to tell about what happened in UK.
Parole board.
And
they're going to let the parole board.
They wrote him a note or texted him saying, I know who you are. That's the same thing that Cass got in the letter that was on her doorstep. I know who you are. So it's making me think, is the same person who's messing with Cass the same person who's messing with Daniel? And I'm like, they can't be connected though, because I think Cass is from the US, Daniel is from the UK.
But she said 10 minutes before the staff meeting took place though. That's enough time. It only take a minute to slit your throat.
To be honest, that's enough
time.
Drop
you right there and then just keep it pushing.
And it could explain if they were in a rush to get to the staff meeting why they left the phone behind. Because in my head, when she found that phone, I was just like, whoever did this is real stupid. Because why would you leave the phone behind?
They knew what was up.
But she found the phone and she discovers something startling. So she was on Instagram looking at the video that Daniel had posted, and she seen him, spying on Lucy. However, the same video is on his phone, except there's 25 additional seconds on that video.
Instagram wouldn't let him post all of it.
Instagram wouldn't let him post the whole video, which happens. They do have time restrictions, I guess. Right. She watches the whole video. Tell him, Jay, take it home. Who does she see leading Lucy away from the party and leading her to the water?
Damn, Logan. I had high hopes for you. We was rooting for you, Logan. But you got too many red flags already. So Logan is seen escorting.
I thought it was Doug.
No, I think it was it Doug?
I think it was Doug.
Yeah, it was Doug. I'm tripping. Doug. I'm sorry. It was Doug. No. Take back what I said. You see who Lucy, as she was leading out, she was talking with Doug. I'm sorry.
Talking with Doug. And she didn't seem afraid in the video though, Jay. That's what I was looking at.
He had his hand on her back, smiling, and almost like they was romantically involved or something.
And she grabbed his hand. He gives her a drink.
Yeah. And so that just shows that
they know each other. They're familiar with each other. That doesn't mean that he didn't kill her, though. I'm gonna just say that. That doesn't mean he didn't kill her.
That's why Doug was feisty, because his shorty got killed. So now he on Demon Time with Brooke. Or
but
like you say,
I don't think that Doug ever told anybody that he had any kind of interaction with Lucy. So that's why this is such a big thing. When they're talking about Lucy, when they're talking about their alibis, who was where, what, he never said, I seen Lucy that night.
Right.
I seen her. I gave her a drink.
I escorted her
to the beach. He never said that. So now it seems like he's hiding something. And she found the video with Doug leading Lucy away from the beach with everybody else into the water, where she was found the next morning drowned.
So that kind of just that's what makes it seem like, it's Doug. And I got it right here. It says, who led Lucy away as they had a talk? And it was Doug. And I had it right here. For some reason, I don't know why Logan popped into my mind, but I'm really trying to play detective here myself, because I don't want to read ahead of the jump, because then I'm gonna be in here smiling and I might give it away and say something. So I'm really trying to stick to the schedule that we got. So Logan just had so many red flags, and I'm just thinking like it was Logan, but
no, Logan did have some red flags. That story about how he lost his ring, and I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And hell no. That don't even make sense. So it just came off and you lost it. Like, I don't believe it. He does have a lot of red flags, but we don't see him have any connection to Lucy so far. The only two, Daniel had a connection to Lucy. He's dead. Now Doug had a connection to Lucy. So now but again, this just speaks again, y'all, to Sarah's writing. It's so good. It literally leaves you questioning. You never know what's going to happen. And that is how I judge my mystery books. Am I having fun while reading it? Is it mysterious? Am I able to just guess who did it? And it's mysterious. I'm having fun. And I don't know. I have no idea. Based on what I've read, it could be anybody. Now,
I'm sitting there.
It's Doug, but again, we're still only in the middle of the book. Would she play a suspect that easily? We don't know.
It's too early. And how did she write like this? Like, what was she thinking? Sometimes these authors be making me feel like they are the real serial killer. Like, what be going on in their mind that
how do you
they just think about these stories and the twist and the plots or whatever? I'm like, okay. If I was her man, I would be side-eyeing her like, you really, and that make you scared to cheat or do anything crazy, because you wake up and she followed the blueprint
about how to get away with murder. Like,
and then you reading the book and you like, did I do this? Was I walking away from a bar one night? Did I have a
Right.
And she just sitting in the corner like,
mm-hmm.
now you watching us. So
and she's like, honey, it's just a book. Calm
it's
down.
just a book,
it's
right?
fiction. I
Now
made
you
it up.
sleeping.
And
Now
you sleep with one
you
eye
taking
open.
Adderall because you trying to stay up all night.
Because he's like, nah, baby, I can't trust you. You write books about people sneaking around and getting their throats slit and getting strangled and drowned. Like, I don't know. But all I can say is her writing is spectacular. It's superb. I am fully entertained. I am fully invested. Like Jay said, it's very hard to stop at the chapter requirements that we do because each of her chapters ends on a cliffhanger. That's why it's so easy for me to get through these chapters because I can't stop reading. I have to force myself to put it down when we get to that chapter break. I'm like, all right, put it down. Because like Jay said, I don't want to reveal something to y'all too soon and ruin the rest of the book.
And I say something like, yes. I ain't supposed to say like, Jay, no.
Exactly.
That's why we got to stop. We got to stop. But exactly. So far, 11 through 15, man, it kind of got, it was, in summary, it just was like them kind of button heads. We seen the button heads of this book. We seen people have their alibi. We got introduced to a new character, but then he was killed off. Rest in peace, Daniel.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace.
We just got a chance to see like more people's perspective.
You know what? You know, I should have known he wasn't gonna survive. You know how they kill off the black people in the thriller movies? Daniel's the black guy with the locks. I'm a black girl with the locks. Am I in danger, Sarah? Should I be worried? But yes, rest in peace, Daniel. We didn't get to know you too long, other than the fact that you appeared to be creepy.
So now UK don't even need you no more. Nobody got to look for you. Parole board can rest easy. They'll fly your body back unless Frederick, tell the Thailand police to do something off a with you.
Or something to hide it. Yeah, because we don't know.
And we have another dead body, y'all. So we don't know what's going to happen.
3 dead bodies in 2 months. Yep.
They gotta read the book, and we gotta read the book.
Yep.
You got to read more of the book. And what's this? So this is Wednesday. Everybody will see this episode on Friday.
Yep.
And we're coming up we're in the middle of the book right now. And I
think we should do a prediction day. Let's make a bet. Who do you think did it?
If you had to ask me right now, I don't think Doug did it. I think he actually had a relationship, which is kind of nasty because she just turned 18.
Right. She's a child.
Right. She's still a child.
Like, okay, Shannon Sharp.
I'm not. What a shot. What a shot. What a shot. Lord have mercy. You about to. Okay. I see you watch a little bit of sports. You know what's going on. Man, that was funny. Like, damn.
So who do you think? We're gonna make a wager. I'm gonna say Logan. Logan did it, but I don't think he did it by himself. If he did it, because I look at how close the permanents are.
I'm gonna call Brooke. The reason why I'm gonna say Brooke is because the permanents is like, we're not trying to lead the island.
Right.
And granted, people will do what they want to do to protect. They would do what anybody would do what they want to do to protect what's theirs. But I just feel like, I don't know. She's writing like it. I'm like, I think Brooke did it. I just think Brooke did it.
I'm going to go with Logan. I think Logan did it. I don't know. It's just something very, very suspicious about him. And I find it weird that she introduced the suspicion of him and then ain't nothing else happened since. I don't think that she's done with his character yet. So, and I don't know, the fact that he just hates Brooke for no reason, that's suspicious to me when she's the only one digging into these deaths. And yeah,
somebody got something to hide for sure.
Somebody or everybody. I feel like everybody there has something to hide. Now, whether that's murder or just like, a family secret or something, we don't know. But Jay says Brooke did it. I said Logan did it.
No, I'm going to take that back. I think Greta did it because until we find out more, she's been too quiet. She gave that one passionate speech that night. She started talking in this chapter in this arc that we did 11 through 15, but she was only explaining herself.
Yeah,
she's been real quiet. We don't know where she really been at.
I mean, so has Neil. Neil also has been really quiet, but that's
Neil like Brooks. I don't think Neil did it.
But I just feel like the people that she's putting up front. Like, okay, Doug is weird, right? Daniel was weird. Logan has something to hide. It's just like, I don't know if she's dropping these clues to set it up that they did it, or she's dropping these clues because neither of them did it. I don't know. I'm scared to even make a judgment. But okay, he said Greta. I'm sticking with Logan. I don't know, but this is what I would say. Logan reminds me a little bit of Cass. Like, I both feel like they got a little bit of like, not insecurity in them, but they are not the leader of the permanents. Like, they're the two most recent ones, and I just feel like if he did have something to do with it, I don't think he did it by himself. So maybe Logan and Doug did it. Like, or maybe Logan and Cass did it. Maybe that's Maybe that's why she's trying to play with our, I don't remember, and why Logan was so quick to cover for her, because he knows they did something together. I don't know. I can't think of the motive for why and who would kill Lucy or Daniel. Right. Like it could be anybody. It could be anybody at this point, people. It could be anybody. What do y'all think so far? Right. Who do y'all think did it? I want to hear what y'all think. Who do y'all think did it? Who did it? Who did it?
And I'm before we get out there, I'm just waiting for like the oh my God moment, like whether it's Cass and Brooke, if they have like a kiss or something, or they become into. I'm trying to see some messiness. Yes. You know what I'm saying? I want to see some relationship messiness. So far,
it's just been murder.
You with this person, you with that person. Yes. I want to see like some messiness. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to get into.
I think it's coming. I feel like she's winding us up, and it's definitely coming.
I hope so, because that's the only thing that's missing right now is a little bit of love, a love triangle. Yes. I'll say a love triangle is missing right now, and I'm hopeful she bring it up. Maybe
who would the love triangle be with though? I mean, because Logan and Cass are like tied.
Logan, Cass, and Brooke. Brooke messing with Logan, but she engaged to Cass. Right? No, I'm sorry.
Or Cass is engaged. Cass is messing with Brooke. Yeah, because the way they are together is just a little intimate, like it's just, and y'all just
she ain't get for the sister vibe.
Yeah, she's
bigging her up a lot.
Yes.
Like, and I wish I could be like her. She's so bold.
Yeah, she's this and holding hands, and they said their hands were intertwined.
And that, I didn't get the sisterly grab. Like that's when you grab your sister by the hand.
She said, she holding my, she said intertwined.
Like my sister.
I don't do this with my friends. I don't be like, I'll be like, yeah, I got you, girl, but I don't do this. This is something different than this.
Yeah, you're right. You absolutely right. So
Jay, maybe I'm just something. He predicted that. I can't take credit for that. If Brooke and Cass get down and dirty, Jay predicted it. I'm just like, I can see it coming because I see the vibes. They a little
too. It's more admiring than than friendship or sisters or something like that. So
exactly.
That's just what I feel. But y'all sound off in the comments, man, or whatever you do, of who you think did it, and let us know, man. And you got anything to say to the people?
Other than tune in, continue to tune in, and tune in next week. Because like I said, if you've been listening, then you see this book is building momentum from the very first page. And I feel like I've been saying this whole episode, we're at the halfway mark. I feel like she's about to ratchet it up. Because now she set the tone. People is dying, all these suspects, and now I feel like she's going to set the groundwork to discovering who did it. And I'm so excited. Like, I can't wait to get off this podcast, honestly, so that I can get right back to the book.
Yeah. Yep. So we thank y'all again, man, for listening, for tuning in, grateful. Man.
Absolutely.
We appreciate everybody for showing us some support from the beginning. Thank you to my co-host Key, because she's been holding it down since she got here. And she seems like a natural. I'm telling you, like, she's a natural since she got up here, man. It's like you thought that she would have been able to do that. She did this before. She just got up here and started wilding from the beginning.
Jay
I couldn't have picked nobody else better.
I would never have done this with anybody else if they had asked me other than Jay. I love talking to him. He is so smart. He notices things about books that keep me on my A game. I'd be like, yeah, I love books. He loves books. And
thank you.
I'm just so grateful and honored that he even chose me to be a part of this. Like, we make such a beautiful team, and it's only up from here. Okay, we got a lot of stuff coming, so y'all got to keep tuning in.
Appreciate you. This has been another episode of the Ki&Jay podcast. She's that reader. I'm just a seer. Peace.